As we continue to talk about Jesus' return, which may happen soon or may still take many years, we've learned that we must be ready and working when that day comes. But some people have lost hope of this completely. Jesus' own words seem to indicate that it was going to happen very soon after he ascended, and so even the early church thought it would be any minute, and it didn't happen. They got quite despondent, and so a lot of the New Testament is dedicated to encouraging the early church to remain patient and hopeful. And Jesus actually mentioned that some would give up waiting and start doing ungodly things. He said it right here in this passage. Verse 45 and 46 we read, "Suppose the servant says to himself, 'My master is taking a long time in coming,' and he then begins to beat the other servants, both men and women, and to eat and drink and get drunk. The master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with the unbelievers." Now this is another part of the gospel we like to ignore. It's much easier to read Jesus' soft and tender words and leave out the harsh ones, right? But his harsh words are essential to hear because they contain much needed warning to us. When we drift off in our faith and start to dabble in sin again, we must remember Jesus said that we should be dressed and ready for him to come, clothed in holiness and living for him passionately. He warns here that some will start to doubt his coming and so will take off that garment of holiness and put on the stained clothing of sin. And I wonder if you've done this. I know I have at times. I think, God is taking his time. It's going to be a long time before I have to face him. I can just sin and God will forgive me after. What an awful mistake. What if Jesus came back in the middle of it all? What excuse would I try to make? Looking back at my life, I think to myself, thank you, Lord, that you didn't come back in those moments when I abandoned you. And not that I beat anybody up or got drunk like the passage said, but these are pictures of the types of sin Jesus warns against. We can easily start treating people cruelly instead of treating them with the love of Jesus and with patience and mercy. We can start losing our self-control and indulging far too much in things that please our bodies and senses but dishonor God. Oh friends, let's not fall into this trap. Jesus is coming back at a moment we won't expect him. So let us remain faithful, wise, kind, self-controlled at all times. This is tricky, I know, because when we talk this way, we often start to think our being good and moral is what makes us right with God. But of course, that's not the case. He saved us by grace alone. But friends, we're called to live good and holy lives because we've been saved and loved by him. It is our witness to his work in our lives. And so don't be found being cruel or selfish when he comes again, friends. You will regret it, but you will be glad if you kept that garment of holiness on.